like, he looks exhausted. And I think he's maybe overcompensating, saying, sorry, Grace, sorry.
Because she attracts the men that love themselves and seem to think that putting a woman down keeps them in place.
Right.
I called it. I remember saying, I have a feeling that Grace's views are views that her friends sort of are championing, and she's just regurgitating whatever her friends are saying so that she can be in with the crowd. And this was evident when her friends came around because they were more vocal about their cause. Grace seemed confused, as though she actually didn't understand what she was championing, or maybe it was starting to ring in her head that she was going to lose an amazing guy because of something stupid that she had found herself aligned with. I'm here for, Ashley's sister actually saying my brother looks haggard. He looks run down. He looks like he's been through the windmill. It's too much for him. And so I'm surprised that this girl cannot sort of see that she's going to lose an amazing guy just because of some values that she half believes in. And this mother, what do I think? Abigail's mom is going to cost her relationships, because if she's continually saying that they have to pass through me, they're not your husbands. You don't get to live with them. What impression are you living with those guys every time you make those sarcastic remarks? The audacity for her to walk her daughter down the aisle when her husband is there. Anyway, Grace would disapprove of my comment. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. It's your girl Valerie. I'm so sorry my review is late. I was a bit busy with work. Anyway, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 10, Episode 12. Okay, so the episode starts off with the couples just cleaning around their apartments. Everybody's in a good space. You have Merv. I think someone was trying to help me pronounce it. I can only try. Merv and Joe, they're in their apartment. They're talking about the fact that they told each other they love each other. Do I buy it? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it's competition between them and Bailey and Rebecca wanting to be the most loved up couple. Bailey on his part is saying, I told you I love you. I expected you to say it back. And then he said, I'm joking. I think he was serious. I think he expected her to say it back. So her not saying it back was something he wasn't counting on. We have Nellie and Stephen. Okay. They're trying to discuss their feelings about the commitment ceremony, saying, how do you feel about it? What was discussed? I feel like at the end of the day, these two people might not be equally yoked, and maybe this woman deserved better. I was actually thinking about Married at First Sight, and I understand them getting people that are broken that need repair, because if they had perfect people, then it would seem very staged. But at the same time, try and match people with people they're aligned with, even if they're broken. Stephen and Nellie is very toxic. Initially, it looked all lovey-dovey, but now it's got to a stage where it's toxic. The moment he started hurling insults at her, that's the time they should have wrote leave, as far as I'm concerned. For her to continue to tell him to take responsibility, he's a grown man. He doesn't need to be taught how to take responsibility for his actions. If he cannot take responsibility for his actions, then maybe they're not meant for one another, and she needs to keep it stepping. We get Ashley and Grace. Apparently, after the commitment ceremony, they spent the night in different apartments because Grace was upset that Ashley spoke about that incident where he had her on the counter after they were making pizza, blah, blah, blah. She just wanted him to say that they were having intimacy issues and ended at that. And it's like, if you're having intimacy issues, maybe it should have come up during the workshop when there weren't that many voices or ears to hear. But because this is aligned, I get where Ashley is coming from, because he said, I felt it was important that we give the full picture of what was going on and not just give little snippets. And that's correct, because if you tell the experts, we're having issues with intimacy, they're going to ask, what do you mean, or what has happened that makes you believe that you're having issues with intimacy? The fact that they had to sleep in separate apartments doesn't make sense. It seems controlling, in my opinion, because it comes across as though Grace wants things done a certain way, and when they're not done that way, then she's going to punish this man by sort of making him feel bad about anything he says or he does. So I'm going to continue to stand on that, and I don't get why she made a big deal about it. They then receive the golden envelopes. Everybody receives an envelope. It's in-laws week, so they get to meet their partners, and it's like, it's about to go down. It's about to be messy, and we're about to see toxicity. The experts then let us know that there are 3 new couples coming into the experiment. I guess it's because we had a couple leave. We had, what was her name? That lady with Paul. She left. So it makes sense that they want to replace them. And then they bring in 3 new couples. The girls were a bit too much. One of them, the one with the blonde hair, I thought was a bit too much. I felt like she was too hyper. Some of the things she was saying were inappropriate. They were not necessary. I felt like she was keeping up appearances. So I can't wait to see what happens on there. And the guy as well, I think that's the guy she's going to be aligned with. The one who was saying he picks up girls when he goes out and sort of calls out random names so that they can answer. So it's going to be interesting to see who he's matched with. I hope they're not matched together because that would be a roller coaster. We get to meet the new couple. First we meet the girl, Abigail. She's 34. She's into fitness and health. She started bodybuilding. She's a vet nurse. So you have Abigail say that she's struggled in the past because her mom has never approved of any of her boyfriends. So whoever she's matched with in the experience, her mom will have to approve. And it's like, why is your mom needing to approve? That's not her man. Why is her approval necessary? I don't get it. Yes, it's important that they get along, but she shouldn't be the one that's picking your husband for you. I don't know what Grace would say to that. I guess she would have a couple of opinions. She said she struggled in the past as well because one of the guys she dated, she dated him, thought he was the one, only to find out that he was actually married, and this broke her. So I guess this is why her mother feels the need to make decisions for her, because her daughter's confidence has been broken. So she is hoping that this guy she's matched with is the one. She wants someone who's honest, who's caring, and is a provider. Hopefully, John is the one. John is 38. He's fun, he's confident, he's self-employed. He's in media marketing, I think, or something, media marketing manager or something to that effect. Well, he said he's close with his family. He's half Italian. He's been single for 5 to 6 years. He had one long-term relationship and is scared of not being enough for his partner. So he's hoping that the person he's been matched with will like what she sees on site. He says he falls in love quickly and he wants someone who lights up the room, who's family orientated, and it seems this is who he's been matched with. So I really hope it works for the 2 of them, because it would be disappointing after all that for them not to align. So Ashley and Grace are the first couple to meet their in-laws, and it's surprising that at her wedding all we saw were her friends, and now with Meet the Family, instead of bringing her siblings or her parents or somebody else, she's decided to bring her friends, the champions for, these liberal thoughts and, these feminists. And it's like, I don't buy that they're feminists. I don't buy that they're feminists. There is conversation about the fact that, they've had a tough week. That you have, on his part, actually saying he's confused. I have a feeling the one called Georgia, or the one with the name Georgia underneath her, is the one that's the champion for this feminist association thing, and is the one who's been drumming this into Ashley, because they brought up the issue of the dress. And it's like, the fact that you are fighting for a dress when you were wearing a leopard print trousers and a t-shirt and you're told to change into a dress, what did you want him to say? That your leopard print trousers was horrible, was hideous? Maybe you're trying to be polite by saying, can you change into a dress, hoping you would put something better or something more appropriate for the occasion. I don't get why. And the fact that her friends were sort of trying to make this man feel bad because he asked her to put on a dress. It's not like he picked the dress that he wanted her to wear. He just said, could you put on a dress? Had they picked a dress and said, I want you to wear this one for me because it will whatever, then I would be saying, in what context was he saying that? But the fact that he asked her to put on a dress after she'd been putting on something hideous, I am starting to think of that situation on Love is Blind USA, where someone was lying about being told only to eat 2 clementines or something like that. She said, she's normally fun and playful, and she's very caring, but she hasn't shown that side because of all the issues they're having. And it's like, Ashley is right to say it feels like she's nitpicky. She's always looking for an issue, or she's always looking for a problem. And that's the impression that I get. I think she must have said something about Ashley, because suddenly her friend Alice started saying all the nice things. Oh, Grace is a caring person. Oh, Grace, you need to give this a chance because, you're doing all this because it shows that you really care about this man. No, they know this man comes from money. They know that this man, his family is loaded, and this is why they're doing all this, because they're trying to make amends so that he doesn't leave her. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. The fact that they call themselves feminists, we're empowered, no one will do anything for us, no one will say anything to us. And yet they're sitting there and he's going to buy the drinks, and not only buy the drinks, he's carrying the drinks, and no one had the idea or the audacity to stand up and go and help him. Tells me that it's a silly cause. It's just them parroting something so that they come across a certain way on TV. We then have Abigail and John wedding. I liked it. I loved how simple. I loved how clean they all looked. The colors were not too in your face. I loved her gown. I thought it was stunning. So her mom was saying, I have high hopes. People have taken advantage of my daughter. So whoever he is, I have to approve before anything else can proceed. And it's like, well, they get to get married first before you say anything. So it's not like, while they're standing at the altar, you're going to say, okay, let's come for an interview, see if you're the right guy, and then keep it stepping. I don't get why the mother was doing that. Oh, I've seen her hurt so many times, I've had to console her. Yes, you've had to console her, but it's not that big a deal. This man is not the one that broke your daughter. It's somebody else. Go and take it out on the person that broke her. I don't get it. Her mom walked her down the aisle where they got in the carriage together. The mom, walked her down the aisle. I think MAFS was trying to prove a point. I think they were trying to give the mom a narrative of the story, because her dad was there. He could have easily walked her down the aisle, or the two of them could have walked her down the aisle, but I don't know why. They both seemed very impressed on sight with the person they'd been paired with. They're very happy. They're very giddy. And so I love that for them. If they're happy, we're happy. I root for love. Their vows I thought were very sweet. I really did. And so they then, shared a kiss. I thought they were going to say no, but they actually shared a kiss. They were very sweet. Even in their pictures, they were very sweet. And so I have a feeling Sarah is going to be eyeing the door, because she's going to want to see which one of the the grooms actually is ready to jump ship. And if they're jumping ship, are they jumping towards her? I think when she sees some of the other guys, she's going to question why experts felt that Dean was the guy for her. Anyway, I digress. We then have Ashley and Grace. They are getting to meet his mom and sister. I loved it. Because at the end of the day, all we've heard are the problems that Grace has with Ashley. We have never heard Ashley say, I have this and this and this and this problem with this woman. So I'm happy that this was brought to light. His mom and his sister came. His mom was trying to be very good, but Jessica was not playing. She was not playing, because they sat there and actually listened. And Ashley sadly was trying not to say the wrong thing. And you kept hearing him say, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. And it's like, it's a bit too much. I love that the moment you had Grace stand up and go and get a bottle of wine, I think production asked her to get up. That's when he was able to open up to his family, because he started off by asking, do you think she's the one? And the sister had to say, we can't say she's the one. Because the problem is you keep apologizing to her. You're not yourself. You're trying to be a shadow of yourself. Just because she has these values, she's got these beliefs. He actually said he's actually having to read a book to try and align with whatever values she has. And it's like, this woman has every woman's dream, a man who's willing to make changes, a man who's willing to accommodate you and your nonsense, and she's treating him like crap. She's really going to be heartbroken when he leaves. So I love the fact that the sister broke down the issues they were having in this relationship, whilst encouraging them to say, okay, you need to continue to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I hope it works for them, because Ashley really seems to want this. He really seems desperate to want this. Grace then came back and said, oh, I know we've been having problems. She tried to make a joke, but it didn't land. So she then realized that, oh, something's gone wrong. So then she tried to sort of speak up, I really like Ashley. This is why I put an A on my nails. And it's like, you branded yourself. So you branding yourself, does that mean you love him? I don't think so. I think Grace knows for a fact that this is an amazing guy. And she knows for a fact that she's going to lose him. And meeting his sister and his mom and hearing how they spoke about him, she's realizing that, oh, actually, he is what it says on the packaging. Just because he was brought up with old-fashioned values doesn't mean he's not an amazing guy. He will open the door for you. He will buy something nice for you. So she then ended up making a list of all the positives, because she said, I don't want you to think that I'm always complaining about him. And it's like, but that's all we've heard, love. That is all we've heard. We've heard you complain about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We haven't heard you say anything nice about your husband. So we can't wait to see that time. Hopefully this turns the corner for them. Hopefully she makes the changes, because I have a feeling, as much as his mum didn't say anything negative, I have a feeling his sisters are going to pull him aside and actually have a conversation and tell him that, yes, you've done the work, but she's not the one. The one will see you and will come for you. We then have Abigail and John come in. Reception. They were sitting at the high table with the mum, and it's like, oh my God, this mum is a bit too much. And she was interrogating this man and told him, I met my husband, and then I knew he was the one. We've been married for 30 years. It was giving Hyacinth. If you've watched Keeping Up Appearances, it's been on TikTok lately. That's the sort of vibe that she's trying to keep up an appearance and trying to sort of maintain a persona. So he eventually passed the test. Do I think he's a good guy? We haven't seen anything to question that. And I hope at 38 he knows what he wants in a relationship. He knows what he wants in a partner. And so this is going to work for them. I can't wait to see what happens next. But hopefully they have a better go around than most of the couples in this experiment this season. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 12. Bye guys.